Hey guys, so welcome to math class. We're going to be doing addition and subtraction equations. Now, you're going to need your math book scans, pages 220 as well as 221. As always, I'm going to go over the odd problems with you, and I would like you to try the even numbers on your own. All right, so equations, the most important thing you need to know about addition and subtraction equations is the term inverse operation. So what is an inverse operation? An inverse operation is what we use in order to solve equations. So it's basically like the opposite operation. What is the opposite of addition? Subtraction. The opposite of subtraction, addition. All right, etc. So today we're going to be focusing on these. So you just have to know that the inverse operation for addition is subtraction, and the inverse operation for subtraction is addition. Let me show you another example. Here we have it, the inverse operation of addition and subtraction. The reason they are inverse operations is because if you look at 2 plus 4 equals 6, if we subtract 4 from 6, the answer becomes 2. And if we do 6 minus 2, the answer becomes 4. They are inverse. So let me give you the book definition of this. First, let's read this. So we know that an equation with a variable, so remember variables are these letters, solved by finding the value of the variable. The value must make the sentence true in order to be called a solution or an answer. So first step is to solve it by isolating or separating the variable on one side of the equal sign. So for example, if this is the equal sign, you have to put all the variables on one side and all the numbers on the other in order to solve it. This is a sign for numbers. And this is the equal sign. Okay? So keep the equation balanced by performing the exact same operation on both sides of the equation. So we practiced some of that in Monday's lesson, and we're going to go more in detail into it. After you finish solving it and after you find out what the variable represents, you need to check it by replacing the variable with the number that you found, with the solution that you found, and the answer should be correct. So I could talk about this, but obviously it's going to be a lot more useful to actually solve these problems and see how to do these. So exercises. Solve the equation using the inverse operation. Check the solution. So reminder, the inverse operation for subtract is plus and vice versa. So let's try number 1 over here. N plus 5 equals 21. Great. Now, what is the inverse operation of plus? If you said minus, you are correct. So I'm going to do minus 5 here, minus 5 here, and that will bring me to 5 minus 5 is 0, so we don't have this anymore. That's why there's only n left. And then 21 minus 5 is 16. So as you can see, I separated the variable with the number. Now, we're not done here. We need to check it. So we check it by substituting. So let's try. We had 16. 16 plus 5 equals 21. Is that correct? Yes, it is. So we are right. N equals 16. All right, let's do number 3. C minus 6 equals 17. What is the inverse operation of minus 6? If you said plus 6, you are correct. Now, let's go ahead and solve this. So negative 6 plus 6 is 0, so we just have to say here. 17 plus 6 is 23. Let's see if I'm right by checking the solution. So we're going to substitute C with 23. 23 minus 6 is 17 indeed. So we're right. Number 5. D plus 45 equals 90. What is the inverse operation of plus 45? It is minus 45, right? Good. Now, so we got D equals 90 minus 45. I got 45. How about you? Let's go ahead and check our answer. Substitute D with 45. 45 plus 45 equals 90 indeed, correct? Doing great. Good job, guys. Let's keep going. Number 7. S minus 39 equals 61. What is the inverse operation of minus 39? It is plus 39. So we're going to do the same thing on each side in order to keep things nice and balanced. All right, great. So this becomes 0. So S equals 61 plus 39 is... Oof, that's the weirdest 0 I've ever drawn. S equals 100. Let's go ahead and check our answer. Gotta love that, right? 100 minus 39, boys and girls, is it 61? Yes, it is. Fantastic. Let's move on to number 9. D plus 43 plus 17 equals 85. Oh, so we got a little twist here. Now, this is why we learn to simplify expressions first. So remember, when we simplify, you are combining like terms. So you're going to put the numbers together and you're going to put the variables together before you do anything else. So D plus 43 plus 17. Well, we only have one variable here, which is D, but we do have to combine these terms. So we're going to do this first. 43 plus 17 is 60. So I like to write everything down just to keep things organized. All right, so now we can go on. What's the inverse operation of plus 60? It's minus 60. Okay. All right, so that brings us to D equals, what did you guys get? 25, because 85 minus 60 is 25. And of course, we will have to check. So let's go ahead. Oops, my mistake. I was substituting the wrong one. 25 plus 60 is what? Yes, it's 85, correct. Okay, let's do number 11. 3.8 plus 16 plus b equals 29. So same thing, just like number 9, we're going to be combining. We have to put like terms together, numbers with the numbers, variables with the variables. But we only have one variable here, so we don't have to do any of that. But we do have to do 3.8 plus 16. So this is a b, not a 6, okay? So 3.8 plus 16 is 19.8. So now we can do the inverse operation. Well, this time it might be a little confusing because we have the plus sign before the variable instead of the number. But just remember, this is a positive number, so we're still doing the inverse operation, but we're getting rid of the numbers because we're separating the variables and the numbers, okay? So just do minus 19.8, not 9. It's not minus b because we need to keep the variable here, right? Because we already have a number on this side. All right. So therefore, the b comes here. And 29 minus 19.8, 9.2. Let's go ahead and check my answer. 19.8 plus 9.2 is indeed 29. Fantastic. All right, let's move on to the next one. Woohoo! Okay. Determine whether the given value is the solution or the answer to the equation. Write yes or no. Solve the problems with the incorrect wrong values. Okay, so first we're going to be substituting the variable with the given number, and then we're going to solve it. And we're going to see if it's correct or not. If it's wrong, then we have to solve it and make it correct. So let's go ahead and try this. A minus 8 equals 6. So we're going to substitute A with 14. So we're going to be doing 14 minus 8 equals 6. Okay, right away we know that that is correct. 14 minus 8 is 6. So we're going to write yes as our answer. Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 15. f minus 17 equals 9. F in this case is 2.6, so we're going to substitute f with 2.6. Well, I'm sure that right away you know that it's wrong, because then it's supposed to be a negative number if that's correct. So that is wrong. So then what is f? If it's not this, if it's not 2.6, then, boys and girls, what is f? Let's do the inverse operation. Minus 17, the inverse operation would be plus 17. Da, da, da. So f is actually 26. So remember, you have to write no. So these are our answers. You have to write yes or no, and you have to write the correct value. All right, so go ahead and try 16 and 14 on your own. Let's do number 17. A minus 1.5 equals 6.5. So we're going back to fractions. So A is 8. So let's go ahead and substitute. That is the smallest one ever. Good, we can review how to subtract and borrow fractions. Okay, 8 minus 1.5. So remember, we're subtracting, so we're not actually going to be changing the denominator into, or we're not going to be doing the, what's it called, reciprocal or anything like that. We do have to make the denominator the same. Well, we have a problem here, folks. There's nothing here, so how are we supposed to subtract half out of this? Well, remember, this is technically 0, right? So we're going to borrow. So 8 becomes 7, right? So we borrowed 1. How can we write 1 in a fraction form where the denominator is 2? 2 out of 2, right? This is the same thing as 1 because 2 divided by 2 is 1. Now we can subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. 7 minus 1, 6. 6.5. Is that correct? Yes, it is correct. So we just have to write yes. And that's our answer. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and look at number 19 next. Evaluate the expression that x equals 3. All right, this one's easy. We just have to substitute and solve. So we can do this. You guys are doing great. I know it's annoying. It could be annoying to watch me write this really slowly because it's an online whiteboard, but I am super proud of you guys for hanging in there. So remember, the important thing in this section is the order of operation. If you remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally PEMDAS. So parentheses is, P is parentheses, exponents would be like these to the x power. And multiplication divide, and divide is d is divide. Remember this one, the order order is just left to right. Divide can go first. Addition, subtraction, also they're interchangeable. So we need to divide before we subtract. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. 5 minus 4 is 1. So our answer for number 19 is 1. Okay, I'm going to stop here. We're going to continue in the part 2 video. Doing really good. You can take a 5-minute break if you need to. And let's finish this. See you soon.